If you're considering moving to or living in Burnaby, BC, you're in the right place. Burnaby is one of the most popular cities in Metro Vancouver, but just like anywhere else, it has its ups and downs. So today, I'm going to be breaking down the top 5 pros and cons of living in Burnaby. So whether you already live somewhere in Metro Vancouver and you're considering a change, or you're thinking of relocating here from another province or from another country even, and want to figure out which neighborhood might suit you best, stick around because this video is for you. Hey, as always, I'd like to take a quick second to welcome all of you who are new to this channel. My name is Chi Huang, and on this channel, we cover everything you need to know about moving and living in Vancouver, BC, as well as its surrounding suburbs. I'm a real estate agent here, and I get calls and emails all the time from people who are thinking of making a move, and I'm always stoked about meeting new people and hearing all their different stories. So if you're thinking about making a move, whether that's next week or months from now, either way, make sure you give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, and we would love to be a resource for you to help you make a smooth move if that's something you decide to do. Now back to Burnaby. What are its pros and cons? Stick around as we cover both the good and the bad so you can be fully informed. There are some things here that we really don't hear people talk about too much, but we're going to be sharing it all today. And make sure you stick around till the end so you don't miss any important points that might cause you to make the wrong decision. Here we go. Pro number 1, and this may be an obvious one, is Burnaby's proximity to Vancouver. That is one of Burnaby's biggest selling points. It is perfectly situated just east of Vancouver, making it incredibly convenient for commuting or enjoying the big city life without actually having to live in it. For the people that don't like being in Vancouver itself, you don't like the downtown lifestyle, you think it's a bit too much sometimes, but you do like the activities that comes with being in Vancouver, or you simply work in Vancouver, Burnaby could be that ideal mix where you get to live somewhere less crammed, less busy, but you don't sacrifice too much of the convenience of accessing all the events and amenities that Vancouver has to offer. Above that, thanks to the SkyTrain, you don't even have to drive and fight traffic to get into Vancouver if you don't want to. You can get from Metrotown, Brentwood, and many other parts of Burnaby to downtown Vancouver in under 20 minutes. Burnaby's overall transit system is just very well connected and easily accessible. Pro number 2 is its beautiful outdoor spaces. If you're someone that loves the outdoors, Burnaby has some of the best green spaces in the region. There's Central Park, which is perfect for a morning jog, some tennis, some golf, or simply a picnic. Then there's Burnaby Mountain where you can hike or take in some incredible views. There's actually a spot up there that's notorious for being the spot where you take your date. It definitely is really nice and has some of the best views you can find here, but is it overused? Probably. Anyways, the list goes on and on. There's also Deer Lake, which offers kayaking, walking trails, and even cultural events at the nearby art theater. There are so much more, but I think you get the point. You do not need to worry about the lack of outdoor spaces here. Pro number 3 is Burnaby's diverse dining and amazing shopping options. One of my personal favorite things about Burnaby is the food and shopping scene. Metropolis at Metrotown is one of the largest malls in Canada and offers almost everything you could ever need. The amazing Brentwood is a new and growing mixed-use development that has become the center of Burnaby North. And above those, Burnaby has a thriving food culture with a mix of cuisines from all over the world thanks to its diverse population. So if you're craving some authentic cuisine or miss feeling like you're in your hometown, then go to Burnaby and you're sure to find something that'll satisfy those cravings. Like I said, that is my personal favorite thing about Burnaby. Asian cuisines there are some of the best. Pro number 4 is Burnaby's job opportunities and education. Now, Burnaby is a hub for education and employment. It is home to Simon Fraser University, the British Columbia Institute of Technology, as well as several large corporations such as Electronic Arts. So whether you're a student or a professional, Burnaby has plenty of opportunities. This is something that you don't get in a lot of the more suburban areas of Metro Vancouver. A lot of people that live way out there have jobs that are close to Vancouver or Burnaby, so they don't get to work close to where they live. Being able to live in Burnaby and find a lot of opportunities here for work is something that you really don't get everywhere, and it makes it a very attractive location, especially for young adults. Pro number 5 is Burnaby's great history, culture, and community. Burnaby is made up of smaller communities and neighborhoods and has a great number of community centers, libraries, as well as recreation centers. Residents here get to enjoy and get involved in a wide variety of cultural and community events. With the amount of recreation opportunities, there are plenty of activities for for you to attend, so whether that's swimming classes, local art classes, or simply just having easy access to a public library. Another great draw for the city is Burnaby Village Museum, which provides a historical and cultural experience for both visitors and residents to enjoy. It's pretty incredible. Spread over 10 acres in Deer Lake Park, you get to see what life was like in the 1920s. Now, moving on to the cons, the first con on the list is, you probably guessed it, the high cost of living. Burnaby's convenience comes with a cost. It is one of the pricier places to live in BC, especially when it comes to housing. Whether you're renting or buying, the cost of living here is significantly higher than in some of the surrounding suburbs. Different parts of Burnaby have gone through different stages of boom, and recently, if we just look at the housing, the gap between purchasing a home in Vancouver and Burnaby isn't all that much. A pretty straightforward rule of thumb is that the farther away from downtown Vancouver you are, the more affordable housing becomes. So with that philosophy, it totally makes sense that Burnaby's housing prices are up there, since it is as close as you can get to Vancouver without actually being in it. Con number 2 is Burnaby's traffic congestion. With the city's growing popularity comes the nightmare that traffic can be, especially during rush hour. Areas like Metrotown and Brentwood can get congested quickly, and on top of that, parking is often pretty hard to find. Even public transit, while convenient, can be packed during peak times. Con number 3 is the lack of nightlife. I'm honestly still kind of surprised by this, because parts of Burnaby is so urbanized and filled with students and young professionals. But that said, if you're someone who loves nightlife, Burnaby might feel a little bit quiet. While there are great restaurants and pubs, it doesn't have the same nightlife energy as Vancouver or even nearby cities such as New Westminster. I honestly wouldn't be surprised at all though if they introduce more pubs and clubs in the years to come. I do think that the demand is there, so maybe that'll be something that can happen in the future. Con number 4 is that Burnaby has some unattractive neighborhoods. Some people might hate to say it or won't want to hear it, but I think it's the truth. And it's really not that big of a deal. There's a ton of amazing areas in Burnaby, but I sure don't think I'd be the only one to say that there are some neighborhoods that you probably should try to stay away from. These areas are a bit more run down, less taken care of. You see a lot of graffiti, older kind of ugly buildings. So just be aware that if you are to move to Burnaby, it is quite a large city, so make sure you do your research like you're doing right now and stay away from areas that you're unsure about. Lastly, con number 5 is that Burnaby is not a walkable city. We just mentioned and talked about how big Burnaby actually is, and it is such a spread out city with not one specific downtown area. There are neighborhoods that are close to their individual busy areas, but zooming out, Burnaby as a whole is way too spread out, and most other places outside of your neighborhood you wouldn't really be able to walk to. Well, there you have it. Those are the top 5 pros and cons of living in Burnaby. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two and enjoyed the video. Now, if you're local or you've lived in Burnaby in the past, comment down below and let everyone know, what did you like or dislike about living in Burnaby? Maybe you guys will be able to touch on some other points that weren't mentioned in this video. And again, if you're thinking of making a move, feel free to reach out. I will have all my contact information down in the description. Thanks again for tuning in, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Peace.